Hey, yep, I'm back. Haven't been doing any podcast episodes, but I'm always gonna be here for the top album releases of the year list. I'm always gonna do this list. This is kind of the main focus of what I'm going for with this podcast, just to uh, take record of what my favorite releases are. And this is what I work towards all year. All year I'm listening to music and going, oh, is this one going to stick around? Is this one I'm going to return to in future years? Then, yeah, that's the big question that I ask with all these albums. So I'm going to get right down to it. This is the top 30 albums. This episode, part 1, is 30 through 16. So, got a lot of albums I love this year. I'm even going to do an honorable mentions episode as well, because there's actually been more albums that have come out recently that I just haven't had a lot of time to sit down with, but I think they're really good and I need to honorable mention them, or ones that I've listened to all year and they just didn't quite make the list. And then there's even a couple that have been sent to me recently from some friends. Shout out to Josh. Spoiler, but Josh just sent me something that I have to honorable mention. And it's pretty much the reason I need to do a separate episode. But anyway, here is the start of my list. The ones that solidified that I've listened to throughout the year. So, all right, at number 30, Twilight Override by Jeff Tweedy. So Jeff Tweedy is from Wilco, which, if you're not familiar, Wilco is a popular indie folk rock band. If you're into that kind of stuff, Wilco's pretty popular in that scene. Yeah, the indie folk rock Americana scene. And so that pretty much is what he's doing as a solo artist as well. It's not a huge deviation. I would say it's maybe more mellow than Wilco, slightly. At least on this one, he is very mellow for the most part. And this album is a very long album. It's actually 3 albums in one, clocking in at just under 2 hours. So he split this into, it is split into 3 separate albums. So when you look at streaming or you buy it, it'll be 3 discs or 3 different albums on this. So he gave a lot of music, a lot of work. And I really appreciate it, because while there are some duds here and there, for the most part, I can throw this on and let it play through the morning or whatever. I would say this is definitely a good morning album. It has really great guitar work, different tones, nice mellow vocals. There's plenty that will catch your ear with catchy melodies. I just love the vibe of this album and the instrumentation throughout it. Like I said, great morning album. And lyrically, it doesn't blow me away, but it fits the vibe. And if you don't feel like listening, to a 2-hour long album, you don't really have to. Just play it a little bit through, and it's great. I think I can just kind of put it on and let it run, and it'll take up the whole morning or whatever. And or you could take the songs you like and put them on a separate playlist and make your own smaller album, whatever. Jeff gives us a lot of work here, and I think it's really nice music. So, all right, that was number 30, Twilight Override by Jeff Tweedy. Number 29, hip-hop album by Nick Grant called I Took It Personal. And that is the theme of the album. He seems to be just firing on all cylinders, rapping, talking about, just explaining how, good of a rapper he is, talking a lot of shit. And he's right. He is a chameleon. I would say Nick Grant is a chameleon. He can do a lot of different tones, a lot of different flows with his music. He can switch up the style quite a bit. At times he'll have like this Drake flow, and then at times he's kind of got like a Kendrick flow. but his voice is like Southern. He sounds like Big Boy or Andre 3000 from Outkast, because he's from South Carolina. So he has that Southern accent too. So it's kind of a blend, a bunch of rappers, and he can just do anything, rap on anything. I think he's even singing on this album. Yeah, this is a really solid hip hop album. And this guy is just coming up, and I really hope he does, because even though I do think he could still work on finding his own unique voice and flow, this man can undeniably rap, and I really love his delivery, confidence, and passionate, with good enunciation. Very easy to understand every word he says. And yeah, this is just a super solid rap album. No frills, just bars and cool beats, talking a bunch of shit. Super clever lines throughout. He does get deeper on a song called Something to Say, talking about his love for his son and how he wants their childhoods to be different, because he had a rough upbringing, so he wants a better upbringing for his son. Saying he hopes his son is more like his mother. That part of the verse really got me. Also, a really interesting song called Product Dealer User, where he spits a verse from the perspective of the product, so the perspective of like drugs, and then which is really weird because you're rapping from the perspective of an object and how it's used. Really creative. And then the next verse is rapping from the perspective of the dealer, and then the next is rapping from the perspective of the user, and how they become addicted to it and it ruins their life and everything. And just a really creative, deep song, and clever with the way that he rapped from different perspectives. Very Kendrick like, I must say. But I also really like the variety of sounds on this album. Several tracks where there is a beat switch in the middle, which I always love that. He used a bunch of different producers and a lot of different types of beats on here. So a lot of variety. Yeah, and he's rapping his ass off on all of it. So, yeah, I want to see this guy come up, man. I think he's got the potential to make a classic. I don't know if this one's a classic yet, but it's really, really good. Really great hip-hop album. That's I Took It Personal by Nick Grant. All right. Some of these will go quicker because I've talked about them enough. So, number 28, Charley Crockett, Lonesome Drifter, and Dollar a Day. He put out 2 albums this year. So I put both of them on there because they're both great. I've talked about him, I think, a couple times at this point. He put out 2 albums last year that were also on my list last year. And then he put out a whole nother 2 albums this year. So he's making a lot of music. And this is just great Western country music. Good old honky-tonk, smoky saloon kind of music. His voice is truly amazing. So smooth, and it is just as good sounding live, I have found out, because I got to see him open for Leon Bridges. So I saw him live, and it was fantastic, and he rocked it out. His band was great. Slide guitar, keyboard player. He hit some great guitar solos himself, and his voice is just perfect. It was so great to see him live. What a great show to see him open for Leon Bridges. Leon Bridges was amazing too. I saw them with some of my best friends in the world, and what a lovely, memorable night that one will forever be. So this had to make the list. Charley Crockett, Lonesome Drifter, and Dollar a Day. All right. Back to another hip-hop album. Number 27 is Egotrip by John Michel and Anthony James. So the soul of the beats on this hip-hop album is really what got me about this. Anthony James, just this I don't know any other work by him. Seemingly unknown kind of guy, put together this amazing group of beats, vocal soul samples throughout it, real instrumentation and drums and horns, cool guitar lines, samples, I think, throughout it. And it's like hype music. It's like triumphant shit. Like I I'm not sure I've ever heard hip hop production quite this punchy and powerful and wall of sound. Yeah, every beat is a big sound. And John Michel delivers the words perfectly. His delivery is just perfect for this kind of music too, because it's just big and brash and passionate and aggressive. His vocal delivery is aggressive and emotional too at times. And lyrically, it's really personal and introspective. Thoughts and reflections on things in his life, talking about being a better person and overcoming tough things he went through. Egotrip, you know what I mean? He's trying to lower his ego and have a lot of self-reflection. It's very prominent in this album, and reflecting on the past, especially on the song World's End. Beautiful, super powerful song. Almost sounds like he's crying while he is rapping. Yeah, the rapping works really well with the beats. I will say the rapping gets a little drowned out sometimes by the intensity of the beats, but I don't mind, because the production is kind of what I think makes this album. The very deep lyrics and delivery is great as well. But yeah, this is some of my favorite production of the year. So perfect collab, rapper producer collab. Yeah, Egotrip, John Michel, and Anthony James. Number 27. All right, I'll try to move a little faster through some of these. All right, number 26 is Equus Caballus, I think is how you say it, by Men I Trust. So this is a 2-in-1 as well. They put out another one called Equus Asinus, maybe. And I probably like the first one more a smidge because it has more upbeat songs on it, but I like both of these albums. So if you like the first one, check out the second one. But they are like a soft indie rock, very chill, dreamy music, and almost like haunting, with infectious bass lines, cool guitar riffs, mellow melodic vocals. Female vocalist, I like her vocal layering and how the harmonies blend so well together. Cool keys and synths throughout. Very dreamy and washy sound, fuzzy and washed out sound. Good morning music, but I also think good nighttime music too, because it has this groovy kind of nightclub vibe to it. They do get more upbeat at times too, with funky in-your-face bass lines, like on the songs Ring of Past and Billy Toppy. But yeah, shout out to Chase for showing me this one. I didn't get to go to the show, but he went to them live, and he said it was very cool, great show. And yeah, this is just a great vibey band. Super nice vibey. One I could put on while having people over to chill. Morning music, dinner music, nighttime vibe music. A lot of uses for this album, in my opinion. Good relaxing work music, too. Yeah, just great. Instrumentation, dreamy, nice, chill, soft indie rock music. Yeah. That is Men I Trust, with both of their albums that came out this year. I'm not going to try to say it again. All right, number 25. I talked about him on a previous episode, but John Batiste, the album is Big Money, and he gets a great New Orleans vibe on this one, but also there's a track that's reggae vibe. Yeah, just I talked about this one previously, so I'll keep it short. Like the album, the album is very short and sweet, 9 tracks, perfect listening the whole way through. It's got a love song. It's got a song reflecting on life. Yeah, a lot of good vibes on this. I think Big Money, the song itself, is probably on my top list of songs of the year. Which maybe I'll do a songs of the year playlist because um, that song is just too good to not talk about. So, Big Money by Jon Batiste, the album and the song. All right, that was number 25. This is number 24. Let me get a real quick sip of Punch of Creme. Happy holidays to you. Punch of Creme is a Trini sweet drink, kind of like Coquito. Oh man, that's good. All right, number 24, another hip hop album. The Illusion of Being by Yugen Blakrok. So this album is just wisdom on display. South African rapper Yugen Blakrok is really giving life lessons and describing life from this experienced lens and an insane command of the English language, using all kinds of big words and crazy vocab, and she is just brilliant rapping, kind of stream of consciousness in a lot of her personal feelings, and talking a lot about her personality, a lot of imagery as well. Like on the song Earth Linguist, she really captures the title of the album, The Illusion of Being. She describes things as being able to shift into different forms and different realms, creating this feeling of illusion and kind of disorienting what reality is, but relating it back to advice on life. She says, love and hatred is a single wave shifting into different forms and phases. She also says stuff like, I mean, there are so many lyrics on this that I could write down. So I have some here for you. But this one is, walk between dimensions, exist on higher levels. You don't have to leave the earth to find your heaven. She opens the album with that. And the vibe of the album, the beats are kind of intense, dark, and dreary. But it fits like her intense delivery and like the wisdom she's trying to tell you too. And she's trying to tell you to like grow yourself and be more confident and not allow the negativity to get you, like be above all of that and be your own person and be confident in that. And with the production behind it, it almost feels like a movie or something. Like, to me, it's like a therapy session. Like, she's just giving me good things to think about. Yeah, just nuggets of lyrical genius throughout this. The album is clean, too. She's not cussing. She's not rapping about anything inappropriate. I mean, this is just pure stream of consciousness, introspective, and descriptive imagery, and wisdom. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with this quote from it. The song Osiris Awakens, second track, is just literally her giving advice on how to be a strong person in life and form yourself. And I'll leave you with this. She says, you'll weather storms and a monsoon will never move you if the force is strong enough within the roots, and you'll branch out with fingers trembling, ideas on the tips of them budding in little shoots. You're the unseen manifesto, the future of your origin, the Big Bang's last echo. This is an alchemy. The self knows what light's good to follow and what shadow you should let go. Yeah, I probably didn't read that, as amazing, as her rapping, of course. But, yeah, amazing wisdom on that one. All right. Number 23. That was, by the way, that was Illusion of Being by Yugen Blakrok. So number 23 now is Forever Howlong by Black Country New Road. I've already talked about this album on 2 different episodes. So Anyway, this is a folk rock album, but the most unique sounding one I've ever heard. It's folk rock, alternative rock, um, with darker tones, and a beautiful female vocalist. Yeah, so I'm going to give you that. It's the most unique, interesting. It is a tougher listen. Some of the songs are long and drag on and get a little chaotic and noisy, but I will always be returning to this album because it is so unique and interesting and beautiful to listen to as well. So that's Forever Howlong by Black Country New Road. All right, number 22, Headlights by Alex G. I've also talked about this one in a previous episode, but this is an indie folk album. Mellow vocals throughout, really nice guitar work, interesting piano and different keyboard parts, mandolin, strings, I think accordion on one song. Yeah, there is just so much going on throughout this album. Very unique and well produced. Lots of beautiful layering. My wife said it has an early 2000s vibe. I think with the way that the guy sings, the guy being Alex G. But she also said this is one of her favorite albums of the year as well. And yeah, this is just great chill morning or sunny day albums. Yeah. With so many different sounds throughout. Great album. Headlights by Alex G. All right, number 21. Also have talked about it, I think once or twice. Lotus by Little Simz. So, real quick, British rapper, Little Simz. Always super deep, emotional, introspective, personal feelings. And she brought it again. I think this one has my favorite production probably because it's just super groovy bass lines and sick drum beats, jazz and funk elements, while still remaining that Little Simz kind of moody, dark sound. Yeah, everything about her is great, and this is another great addition to her catalog. Yeah. And maybe my favorite to play, too. This might be my new favorite to put on. Just because, yeah, I really like the production. She doesn't miss rapping, but this is my favorite kind of production. Yeah, Lotus by Little Simz. All right. So, also talked about this one previously. So, I've talked about these. It's what I've been listening to all year. But here they are ranked. So, number 20, Snipe Hunter, Tyler Childers. I've only got 3 country albums on my top 30 list. So, this one, Charley Crockett, and there's one more left. So, you'll have to listen to the next episode to find out what my favorite country album of the year is. But yeah, this one took me a minute to warm up to because the lyrics were kind of interesting and the themes were a little off. But he really gives you a lot of different sounding country and country rock songs on this. There's more acoustic ones, there's full-blown rock ones, a little bluegrass at times, and even slightly like Springsteen sounding at times too. I really like Dirty Out Trill because it has this like line dance kind of beat and rhythm to it. It really makes me think of line dancing, and I do a little line dance around the house while holding my son, and he gets a kick out of it. So, that's a little special anecdote to throw in there. But yeah, catchy tunes, got stuck in my head. A lot of different lyrical topics. But the concept is they all focus around animalistic traits and hunting and wildlife. So, even diving into the spiritual aspect of being a human animal and how his philosophical ideas relate and how they relate to Hindu ideals, and he then merges them together he relates and merges his philosophical ideas with Hindu ideals, and then blends a country sound with Hindu music, which I at first it took me a minute, but I actually came around to really thinking that was really cool and really creative. And yeah, a lot of special stuff on this album. Really cool album, Snipe Hunter by Tyler Childers. Okay, number 19. I am surprised by how much I like this album. But it's Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. The Weeknd was even my number 2 artist of the year on Spotify Wrapped, which it's not making a lot of sense for me. And if you know me, like, pop music is not really my thing. But I guess this is my pop album of the year. Yeah, this is my pop album. This might be the only pop album on the list, but this is it for me. Because it's such a journey. It's an amazingly produced album with dance music, moody, vibey beats, even trap beats with hip hop features. I mean, it'll go synthy, dramatic R&B beat to dancey, like disco beat, and then to a soul sample beat. Like, the transition between Baptized in Fear to Open Hearts is amazing. Like, that one gets me. Like, just listen to the way it transitions between those two songs and the different styles. And then it goes into Enjoy the Show with that soul sample beat. Yeah, man, this is a cool album and an epic way to end the trilogy of After Hours, Dawn FM, and now Hurry Up Tomorrow. And I think mostly the reason The Weeknd ended up being my number 2 artist was I went back and listened to the trilogy, and this new album is long, and yeah, it's hard to pick a favorite of which one of those is my favorite, but I spent a lot of time listening to those 3 albums this year. Yeah, so good for The Weeknd, man. Made another great album. I forget who the producer is, but I mean, this is the best production of the year. I mean, it's insane how well this was produced, in my opinion. So, all right, that was number 19. Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd. Number 18, my reggae album of the year, and I think reggae album of the 2020s so far, easily. Exile by Chronixx. Yeah, Chronixx displays all forms of reggae music on this one. He's got some roots reggae, some Toots and the Maytal style reggae, which is kind of roots, and a little more dub sound at time, some dance hall reggae, some reggae with more rock undertones of like electric guitar solos too, like on the song Genesis. Really great long guitar solo on that one. He even gets acoustic, like Bob Marley Redemption song style, where you get to hear his voice and lyricism and passion displayed, like on the song Hurricane. He's got some good lyrical topics as well. I really like the song Family First, essentially talking about putting family first, even though it can be difficult at times. Yeah, the sound and production is perfect. They get the perfect bass lines, keys, percussion. He really finds the perfect reggae tone. Yeah, he is my favorite modern reggae artist. I think him and Coffee are holding it down for me. And yeah, it's been 8 years since Chronixx put out an album. I loved his last album, Chronology, played it all the time. And yeah, now this one is just as good, if not better. So yeah, if you need some reggae music in your life, which I think we all do, relax and feel good with some meaningful lyrics. And yeah, perfectly executed sounding reggae music. Yeah, Chronixx, Exile. All right. Number 17. This is probably the fourth or fifth time I've talked about this guy. Whether it was this album or just in general, and that's Brother Ali. Number 17, Satisfied Soul. I actually just got this on vinyl for Christmas too. So shout out to Mason. Thanks for the vinyl. And it's a really cool one too. The sleeves and the record itself is very cool. Anyway, I really like it. And yeah, what can I say about this guy? This guy's like an amazing rapper. He actually sticks to concepts on his songs. He tells stories. He's descriptive. He does internal rhyme schemes, which, if you don't know what I mean, he is rapping inside the sentence and then he raps at the end of he rhymes inside the sentence and then he rhymes at the end of the sentence too. He's rhyming all over the place. Okay, this guy is crazy. And while saying very meaningful, great stuff, providing wisdom. Oh, man, Brother Ali is so good. The song The Drum, I'm just going to talk about that song because I don't think I've talked about it yet. Super cool. It is essentially talking about how the beat of a drum can get everyone to move in unison. And so this is how music unites us all. And he says the drum made the whole world move as one. Just talking about the power of music. That's a beautiful message. So, shout out to Brother Ali. Number 17, Satisfied Soul. All right, my last one I'm going to talk about on this episode, number 16, Never Enough by Turnstile. Yeah, I don't think there's an album that has gotten more stuck in my head this year than Never Enough by Turnstile. Maybe in this one and another one further up the list, but yeah, insanely catchy alternative rock, hard rock kind of punk and hardcore even, but with this dreamy sound mixed in. And then they even get like indie rock parts at times. It is hard to put a label to the genre of this band. Crazy mix of genres. They started out as a hardcore band, and then they went on to kind of mix things together into this dreamy indie rock that gets heavy, distorted too. It gives me like Incubus vibes, where it goes like mellow, psychedelic, and then turns into distorted rock. Yeah, these like just punchy, in your face, distorted guitar chords. Nothing like crazy complicated, but just the blend of genres here and the catchiness of it. I just appreciate that they're branching out and creating a new sound, which I feel like is becoming harder to find in rock music. So it's good to have Turnstile out there doing new things. So, all right, those were my albums 30 through 16. So thanks for listening to part one of my top albums of the year list. This is my favorite podcast topic to do. This is what I listen to music all year for, to develop my list and kind of document the year, so to speak, as far as albums that came out and what I listened to. So thanks for those who listened. Until next time, thanks.